Welcome to Beyond the Clinic, the podcast for health professionals who intend to take their expertise and transform it into innovative income streams that extend well beyond the traditional clinic model. I'm your host, Sarah Almond Bushell, registered dietitian and certified business coach, and proud owner of not one, but two successful online businesses. Picture this. It wasn't that long ago that I was a full-time NHS employee, afraid to take the leap from the security of a regular salary. I understand that stepping up as an authority can feel intimidating, but it doesn't have to be scary, and you do not have to do this alone. I'm on a mission to inspire ambitious health business owners, or those who want to be, who dream of being able to positively impact thousands of people's health and lives while simultaneously enjoying the freedom that comes from being your own boss. If you've been nodding along, then you are in the right place. In this podcast, you're going to learn tangible, easy, actionable business strategies on how to accelerate your business success that extends well beyond the traditional clinic model. You'll also hear from successful health experts where we'll dive behind the scenes of their businesses so you can hear exactly what it took for them to grow flourishing businesses too. Thank you for being here and welcome along to Beyond the Clinic. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Now, as the year draws to a close, many of us feel that pull to pause, to reflect and immerse ourselves into the festive season. But as business owners, stepping back and truly disconnecting can feel like a bit of a luxury that we maybe can't afford, or one that's actually really quite difficult to fully embrace. So today I'm going to be sharing my experience from what happened to me last year. I learned a lesson of what happens when we push ourselves through without rest. And this year I am approaching things very, very differently. So I'm going to walk you through some self-care practices that I have found truly restorative. These are practices that can help us all come back in January with a renewed energy, clarity, and actually a bit more excitement for what's going to come next. So stick with me today as we explore the power of a real intentional break and how it can set the tone for quite a fulfilling, successful new year. So it's almost the end of the year, isn't it? And if you're anything like me, you will feel the pull of the festive season. It's a chance to slow down. It's an opportunity to step away and truly enjoy some fantastic time with our loved ones. This week or so has its own magic, doesn't it? So for me, it's about the family traditions. It's about those cozy evenings, the glass of mulled wine or two, and of course, a mince pie. And I also love this excitement that a new year in business is coming. It's on the horizon. And it's actually a moment in time where just for a little while, you get to down tools and you can stop and focus on recharging your batteries, fully disconnecting from the demands of your business. No checking emails, no planning content, no hundreds of tabs open on your computer serving to remind you of all the things that you haven't finished yet. So instead, you have a bit of headspace, don't you? A feeling of lightness, a feeling of freedom. And when I'm well rested, this brings so much clarity into the new year for me. So by allowing this time for true rest, you're really setting yourself up for so much more than just relaxation. You're giving your body and your mind the time they need to rejuvenate, to let the year's busyness, I guess, just fall away. And all of that newfound energy you can bring back into your business when you return after a couple of weeks of complete and utter self-care. So if you're like me, I get a really amazing, refreshed sense of purpose that sets the tone for months ahead when I've had a proper break. And there's something really beautiful about starting the new year almost with a clean slate, isn't there? It's instead of stepping back into the routine or the habits or the obligations that you had in the previous year, you're moving forward with new intentions. So, this Christmas and this New Year period, you've got a choice. You can keep going, you can keep all those mental tabs open and the endless to do lists swirling around your brain, or you can embrace this opportunity to truly restore yourself. Because here's a bit of truth for you: the rest you allow yourself now will pay dividends in the new year, helping you to be more present, helping you to be more resilient and more inspired as you step into 2025. So, in a moment, I'm going to share with you my favorite self care practices that are designed to refresh and re energize you from the inside out. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you about my story. So, last Christmas, I had made a plan. I told myself I was going to stop working mid December, giving myself and my family plenty of time to unwind and soak up the season. So my daughter attended a online private school and her term finished a week earlier than most children. And I wanted to be fully present with her when she started that festive break. So we talked about things like going to the cinema together to watch some, family festive movies. We were going to be baking our own mince pies, just enjoying some lazy mornings together, really, just the two of us before the boys broke up and joined us as a family the following week. But then around a month later, I'd also started working with a new business coach, and we were dreaming big about my business. We were planning to 4 times the growth of my nutrition business, the children's nutritionist, over the coming year. And you know what? The excitement was electrifying. I found myself completely swept up in it. My mind was just swirling with ideas. My planner was just packed full of notes on growth strategies. And it actually felt too thrilling to pause. So when that end of term date rolled around, I told myself, you know what, I might just do another day or two. And my daughter was actually quite happy with that because she's a teenager. She likes to lie in. She likes playing computer games. And so I just pushed through. I worked right through until December the 23rd. And since my office is at home, I told myself that, you know what, it really wasn't a big deal to be popping in and out of my office and to pick things up again properly on the 27th. So there I was in my office just after Boxing Day, surrounded by all of these sort of holiday remnants. There was half drunk cups of cold coffee next to a pulled Christmas cracker. There was crumbs all over my desk from my mince pies that I'd been scoffing. And I could hear my family relaxing, in the other room there. But I kept my head down. I promised myself that this grind, it was going to be so worth it. I was doing this for my family's future, and that January was going to be the fresh start that I was really anticipating it would be. And then, of course, January came. I kicked off the new year with a live launch for a high ticket offer I'd spent about 6 months perfecting. And usually, if you've live launched before, you'll know that these live launches are intense. But this was something else. So I did 4 live webinars. I had over 1,000 people altogether. I had a 10-day cart open period and a whirlwind of calls and emails. And I clocked an incredible £41,000 in sales. It was fantastic by the time I closed my laptop. But I was nothing short of shattered. It was the kind of exhaustion that settles into your bones where every ounce of energy just feels used up. I was falling asleep by 8:30 at night. I was struggling to get up the next morning to take my son to the train station to catch his train to college. And even the smallest tasks like taking our dog, Dustin, the Labradoodle I've got, for a walk on the beach just seemed too big, too monumental to do. And then my body gave in. I got ill. I got COVID. I was completely run down from having pushed so hard. So those festive plans, that chance to truly rest and reconnect with my daughter, had been completely eclipsed by work. And in hindsight, I realized in all the excitement, in all of the momentum that I'd hoped to build, it had actually just drained me. It had sucked my energy before the new year had even begun. And if I think back now, it probably took me till about Easter before I fully recovered and got my energy levels back. So for me, that experience was a massive wake up call. I'm 48. It taught me just how essential true rest is. Not the half hearted, I'll just check my emails on my phone, but the kind of real intentional time you take to disconnect. It's that kind that feels restorative. And so this year, I am embracing exactly that. I'm giving myself some proper time off where I'm going to focus on my favorite self-care practices that I've come to realize make all the difference in giving true restorative rest. So these are practices that I'm going to share with you in a moment, and I hope it'll help you start the new year feeling energized as well. But I have to say, this feels really hard. I met with my business coach again yesterday, and again, I've got plans swimming around my head. It's early December as I record this, and I'm not ready to quit. So it's really, really hard to do this. But honestly, I've learned my lesson. I've had my fingers burned. And so I am going to make this part of my business plans for 2025. Okay, let's dive into these self-care practices. I have come to benefit from these super simple, but really nourishing rituals, I guess, that help me truly recharge over the holiday season. And I really want you to take note of these and think about them as well. So they will help you feel rested. They will help you feel ready for 2025. And I'm really confident that if you're a hard worker like me, if you're someone who absolutely loves your job and you're committed, wholeheartedly to what you do, you're going to benefit from these too. Okay, so first of all, we're going to create a transition ritual. So as you approach the end of your last working day of the year, I want you to put in some time for a transition ritual. So this doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but I want you to close down all of the open tabs on your computer and then physically close the lid of your laptop, or if you use a desktop, switch it off properly at the mains and just take a few moments to write out any lingering to-dos onto a notepad, on a physical notepad, or add it into your planner for next year, starting from January. Then light a candle, make a hot cup of tea or a glass of mulled wine, and then just sit in silence for a few minutes and just say to yourself, I am done. So this is a small ritual, but it's a really poignant one to signal to your mind and to your body, actually, that it is time to stop. It's time to leave work mode behind you and step into that season of rest. So for me, this small ritual has been an absolute game changer. It's a super intentional act that acts as, closing the book on work, and it helps me resist the temptation to sneak back in to work, even when my mind desperately tries to get me to go there. It's about giving yourself permission to relax. It's giving yourself permission to fully relax with no strings attached. Okay, number 2 is practice a digital detox. So one of the biggest gifts I think that you can give yourself during this time of year is a digital detox. So choose a couple of days, maybe Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and put your phone and your laptop away. And I know that sounds really hard, especially when so much of what we do is online, but time offline is really invaluable. So, just imagine a day where you're just not reaching for your phone every hour. You're not hearing the ping of an email, and instead you're just fully present with the people who are around you. So you might find yourself noticing those little things like, the crackle of the fireplace, the smell of the spices in the kitchen, the sound of laughter. And it's these little moments, these mindful moments that fill you up, that create the memories. And they're often lost to us when we are in front of a screen. Okay, number 3 is to prioritize physical rest. So this one might seem obvious, but it's often the hardest thing to actually commit to. So for many of us, the Christmas holidays become another list of things to do: shopping, cooking, hosting, and so on. But this year, I want you to give yourself permission to truly rest. So it can be as simple as just allowing yourself to sleep in, to wake up without an alarm, to take a nap in the afternoon or go to bed early if you feel like it. Just let your body lead the way. We spend so much of the year pushing against our natural rhythms in order to meet our deadlines, in order to achieve our goals. So this Christmas, just try honoring what your body actually needs. And when you listen to your body, you're restoring that energy reserve that you'll be glad that you've got in the months ahead. So for me, I have a sister who lives not too far away, and the two of us always get together for a full spa day. No husband, no children, nice lunch, massage, just chilling really. And that's something we do every single year. And I'm absolutely looking forward to that this year. Okay, number 4 is reflect and make a vision. So I know we often talk about setting goals for the new year, but I want to invite you actually to take a moment just to reflect on everything that you've already accomplished in the year past. So find a quiet moment, maybe early in the morning, make things really comfortable for you. Have a warm cup of coffee. Or for me, I've taken up knitting. So often I'll just sit on the sofa with some music on in the background and do a little bit of knitting and just reflect back on the highlights of the past year. It doesn't have to be work things, it can be family things as well. But, what did you achieve? What challenges did you face and then overcome? And then when you're ready, which might be a little bit later, it might be part of the same session, just begin to visualize what that new year might look like for you. So I want you to do this without any pressure, without any expectations, without any goals in mind, really, but just let your mind wander with curiosity. What do you want to feel more of? What are you excited to bring into your life and into your business? And then, write down a few thoughts or intentions, letting this time just be a gentle space to dream and not be a goal setting session or a New Year's resolution type of session. And then number 5, reconnect with a personal passion or hobby. So lastly, give yourself some time to do something purely just for the joy of it. So this might be something that you love but often set aside, like reading a book during daytime hours, or baking a favorite recipe, or knitting like me, or sketching. It's really just about finding something a little bit creative that fills you up without the need for productivity or progress. So for me, my wee bit of totally crap knitting, if I'm honest with you, is a way of reminding myself that I'm more than just my work. I'm more than just a wife and a mother. There are parts of me that exist purely for joy. So whatever it is for you, make space for it, because these small joys, these are really restorative and they connect us to who we are beyond our professional roles. So as we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. The rest you give yourself now is an investment in the months ahead. By taking this time to disconnect and reflect and truly enjoy the season, you're setting yourself up to start the new year not only rested, but energized and ready to take on new challenges. This festive season, give yourself permission to fully pause. And I hope these self-care practices bring you the clarity and the joy that they've brought me. So my action step for you today is to commit to trying that simple transition ritual to mark the end of your working year. When you finished your last task, close your laptop, write down any loose ends to revisit in January, and then just create a small moment for yourself, perhaps by lighting a candle or making a cozy cup of herbal tea, and just say to yourself, I am done, and allow that to signal the start of a truly restful holiday period. So join me next time for an episode inspired by one of my lovely clients who asked me the question, how can I make money quickly without going back to the NHS whilst I'm building my business? So if you need a quick cash injection when you don't yet have an audience to sell to, you don't want to miss this one. Bye for now. That's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me as we explore the abundance of strategies to help you recapture that feeling of possibility and excitement as you drive your business forwards and beyond the clinic room. If you found today's episode inspirational, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the show to stay in the loop for more valuable advice that I'm going to be sharing each week. If you want to be the first to hear about new episode releases, news and ways that I can support your business growth, then please don't forget to check out the links in the show notes, and you can also connect with me from there. Don't keep me a secret. I would be delighted if you left a review and shared this podcast with your colleagues. Until next time, bye for now.